everybody. Okay, today I have a special story about something in our next continent that we're studying this week. South America is the new continent we're studying. So we studied North America, and now we're moving down to South America, another continent. Now, you just wait until you see the size of this book. It's huge. It's going to be a challenge for me holding this big book, but I'm going to try. So this story is about the Amazon rainforest. And the Amazon rainforest is one of the biggest rainforests in the world, and it is in South America. Mr. Anthony and Miss Donna's class actually did their Jacksonville Science Festival project about the Amazon rainforest. So I borrowed this book from their class because they were busy studying it so much, and this book helped them. So we're going to read it together. All right, so this book is called The Great Kapok Tree, A Tale of the Amazon Rainforest by Lynn Cherry. I want you to look at this first page. Oh, see if I can turn this big book. And check it out. It's got all the continents of the world, a big map. So we could sing our continent song with this. Tell me the continents, tell me the continents, tell me if you can. North America, South America, Europe, Asia, and Africa. Don't forget Australia. Don't forget Antarctica. Tell me the continents, tell me the continents, tell me if you can. Here's South America over here, and it's showing us the beautiful green Amazon rainforest right there. So here's an introduction about this story. In the Amazon rainforest, it is always hot. And in the heat, everything grows and grows and grows. The tops of the trees in the rainforest are called the canopy. The canopy is a sunny place that touches the sky. And the animals that live there like lots of light. Colorful parrots fly from tree to tree. Monkeys leap from branch to branch. The bottom of the rainforest is called the understory. The animals that live in the understory like darkness. There, silent snakes curl on hanging vines. Graceful jaguars watch and wait. And in this steamy environment, the great kapok tree shoots up through the forest and emerges above the canopy. This is the story of a community of animals that live in one such tree in the rainforest. Two men walked into the rainforest. Moments before, the forest had been alive with the sounds of squawking birds and howling monkeys. Now all was quiet as the creatures watched the two men and wondered why they had come. The larger man stopped and pointed to a great kapok tree. Then he left. See that big tree shooting up? That's the kapok tree. Can't even see you from over this big giant book. Okay. The smaller man took the axe he carried and he struck the trunk of the tree. Whack, whack, whack. The sounds of the blows rang through the forest. The wood of the tree was very hard. Chop, chop, chop. The man wiped off the sweat that ran down his face and neck. Whack, chop, whack, chop. Soon the man grew tired. He sat down to rest at the foot of the great kapok tree. Before he knew it, the heat and hum of the forest had lulled him to sleep. Look at this. I see a jaguar here. Anybody see this crawling on the tree? A boa constrictor lived in the kapok tree. He slithered down its trunk to where the man was sleeping. He looked at the gash the axe had made in the tree. Then the huge snake slid very close to the man and hissed in his ear. "Señor, this tree is a tree of miracles. It is my home where generations of my ancestors have lived. Do not chop it down." this beautiful picture. A bee buzzed in the sleeping man's ear. Senor, my hive is in this kapok tree, and I fly from tree to tree and flower to flower collecting pollen. In this way, I pollinate the trees and flowers throughout the rainforest. You see, all living things depend on one another. Some bugs in this picture. To come back for that part. A troop of monkeys scampered down from the canopy of the kapok tree. They chattered to the sleeping man. Senor, we have seen the ways of man. You chop down one tree, then you come back for another and another. The roots of these great trees will wither and die, and there will be nothing left to hold the earth in place. When the heavy rains come, the soil will be washed away, and the forest will become a desert. Ever thought about what would happen to the ground if there were no trees to help soak up the water? Here's the page that fell out. I'm gonna fix it. A toucan, that's this big bird up here, a macaw, and a cock of the rock flew down from the canopy. Senor, squawked the toucan, you must not cut down this tree. We have flown over the rainforest and seen what happens once you begin to chop down the trees. Many people settle on the land. They set fires to clear the underbrush, and soon the forest disappears. Where once there was life and beauty, only black and smoldering ruins remain. There's the birds of the forest. Oh my goodness, this book is so big. All right, who do you think's going to talk to him this time? A bright and small tree frog crawled along the edge of a leaf. In a squeaky voice, he piped in the man's ear. Senor, a ruined rainforest means ruined lives. Many ruined lives. You will leave many of us homeless if you chop down this great kapok tree. That's their home. So if it goes away, they'll be homeless. A jaguar had been sleeping along a branch in the middle of the tree. Because his spotted coat blended into the dappled light and shadows of the understory, no one had noticed him. Now he leapt down and padded silently over to the sleeping man. He growled in his ear, Senor, the kapok tree is home to many birds and animals. If you cut it down, where will I find my dinner? I bet that man's glad he's asleep. Look at these guys. Anybody know what those are? Four tree porcupines. I didn't know there were tree porcupines. Swung down from branch to branch and whispered to the man, Senor, do you know what we animals and humans need in order to live? Oxygen. That's the air we breathe. And Senor, do you know what trees produce? Oxygen. If you cut down the forests, you will destroy that which gives us all life. So if trees make oxygen, the air we need to breathe, if we cut them down, there won't be as much oxygen in the air for us. know what these guys are? Several anteaters climbed down the kapok tree with their young clinging to their backs. The unstriped anteater said to the sleeping man, "Senor, you are chopping down this tree with no thought for the future, and surely you know that what happens tomorrow depends on what you do today. The big man tells you to chop down a beautiful tree. He does not think of his own children, who tomorrow must live in a world without trees." This one. Anybody know what this creature is called? He's cute, isn't he? A three-toed sloth had begun climbing down from the canopy when the men first appeared. Only now did she finally reach the ground. Plodding ever so slowly over to the sleeping man, she spoke in her deep and lazy voice. "Senor, how much is beauty worth? Can you live without it? If you destroy the beauty of the rainforest, on what would you feast your eyes?" Now look. A child from the Yanomamo tribe who lived in the rainforest knelt over the sleeping man. He murmured in his ear, "Senor, when you awake, please look upon us all with new eyes." Wow, so look, there's even a tribe of people that live in the rainforest still. This page. The man awoke with a start. Before him stood the rainforest child, and all around him staring were the creatures who depended upon the great kapok tree. What wondrous and rare animals they were. Wow, this one has all the animals in it. The man looked around and saw the sun streaming through the canopy. Spots of bright light glowed like jewels among the dark green forest. Strange and beautiful plants seemed to dangle in the air, suspended from the great kapok tree. The man smelled the fragrant perfume of their flowers. He felt the steamy mist rising from the forest floor, but he heard no sound, for the creatures were strangely silent. The man stood and picked up his axe. He swung back his arm as though to strike the tree, but suddenly he stopped. He turned and looked at the animals and the child. What do you think he's going to do? He hesitated. Then he dropped the axe and walked out of the rainforest. Wow, that's the end of the story. So all those animals and the boy from the tribe were able to talk the man out of chopping the tree down by telling him why the rainforest was important to them and why it's important to the earth. So I want you guys to have fun studying South America this week, and I hope you enjoyed that story. Bye.